Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better? I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
A president's address to Congress is traditionally a moment of unity, a chance to lay out a vision for the nation. But Donald Trump's latest speech was anything but traditional. It was a speech defined by partisanship, grievance, and a vision that deepens the nation's political divide. From his stance on tariffs to his unexpected pivot on Ukraine, this speech wasn't just about policy, it was about power. Let's break it down.
Six weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Trump's claim of unprecedented achievements in just 43 days is highly exaggerated. Historically, most early presidential actions focus on executive orders, policy rollouts, and laying the groundwork for legislative agendas. Comparatively, past administrations, including Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal and Barack Obama's early economic recovery actions, implemented sweeping changes within their first months. While Trump did sign multiple executive orders, many were symbolic or reversed prior policies rather than enacting groundbreaking new laws. Trump frames his recent election as a mandate to reverse perceived betrayals, signaling a confrontational approach. This perspective overlooks the complexities of political division, where both parties have contributed to polarization. His rhetoric may further alienate moderate voters and exacerbate legislative gridlock. By doubling down on divisive rhetoric, Trump is unlikely to gain bipartisan support. This may further alienate moderate voters and worsen legislative gridlock in Congress. Historically, such approaches have resulted in government shutdowns, delayed policies, and increased voter disillusionment.
Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
While Zelensky has emphasized the need for negotiations, he has repeatedly stated that Ukraine will not surrender territory to Russia. Trump's claim oversimplifies a complex diplomatic issue. Furthermore, U.S. military aid to Ukraine has been heavily scrutinized, but bipartisan support in Congress remains due to concerns about Russian aggression. Historical context shows that reducing aid to allies in wartime often weakens U.S. influence on the global stage. Trump's approach could weaken U.S. influence in NATO and embolden Russia, potentially destabilizing the region further. Ukraine may struggle to maintain its defenses, leading to greater territorial losses and an empowered Kremlin. This could also send a signal to other allies that U.S. commitments are unreliable.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight. Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe.
There is no publicly available evidence supporting Trump's claim of billions in government fraud directly linked to Musk's efforts. While Musk has criticized government regulations and certain spending programs, no major fraud investigations have been directly tied to his influence. In contrast, Musk's companies, including Tesla and SpaceX, have received substantial federal subsidies and contracts.
They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million.
Musk's growing influence in government decisions raises concerns about corporate favoritism and conflicts of interest. If his companies continue receiving federal support while he remains politically involved, it could erode public trust in fair governance and business regulation.
However, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair.
Historically, tariffs have led to retaliatory measures, increasing costs for American businesses and consumers. The 2018 to 2019 trade war with China resulted in higher prices on goods, lost revenue for American farmers due to Chinese retaliatory tariffs, and job losses in industries reliant on global supply chains.
India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea. But that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe.
New tariffs could lead to trade tensions with key allies, prompting retaliatory tariffs that may harm U.S. exports and slow economic growth. Small businesses relying on imports may struggle, and consumers may face increased prices, contributing to inflationary pressures.
This system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day was cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
While Trump's proposal is appealing to working-class Americans, no specific legislative plan has been introduced. Additionally, eliminating Social Security taxes without a revenue replacement could reduce funding for the program, jeopardizing future benefits for retirees. Past attempts at cutting Social Security taxes have faced bipartisan opposition due to concerns about long-term sustainability. If enacted without a revenue replacement, these tax cuts could lead to long-term deficits and potential reductions in Social Security and Medicare funding. This could disproportionately impact older Americans who rely on these programs for their livelihood.
I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
Bipartisan efforts under Trump's administration were minimal, with major policies like tax cuts and the repeal of ACA mandates passing on party-line votes. Claims of Democrats refusing to work with him overlook instances where negotiations broke down due to Trump's shifting positions. Trump's approach signals more executive actions and potential legislative standoffs, making compromise in Congress even more difficult. This could result in more government shutdowns and policy reversals with each administration change, leading to instability in governance. Donald Trump's speech to Congress was not a traditional address. It was a declaration of his agenda. It reflected the deep political divide in America, the shifting sands of global diplomacy, and the growing influence of figures like Elon Musk. As Trump moves forward with his second term, one thing is certain: his approach remains as controversial as ever. What do you think? Are these policies a step towards strengthening the nation, or a deepening of the divide? Let us know in the comments.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.